We got some pink nippies. Ah, all nips going on right now. All nips.
Wow. Are we on OnlyFans? Where is
We
this?
we are. This is only flans.
Only flat.
Nice,
Only
nice, nice.
flans.
How's it going? How's it going, guys?
Welcome to the fucking show to the hardest working redhead in the industry. I know that's going to
Uh,
make Andrew. It's going to make Andrew Coates upset.
yeah, he
Because
claims he doesn't care. He claims he doesn't care, but he's gonna. He's gonna start caring when I'm the mayor of fitness.
you're going to take his job
Who
from him, man.
Yeah, I'm running next year. I'm running for it.
can you bench more than Carrot Top?
Mm. Pre or post when he went natty. He's no longer natty.
I don't know that he's been natty in 20 years. Have you seen pictures of that dude? He's 60 years old and he's shredded.
He's 60?
60.
That's crazy.
I had no idea.
He's
Yeah,
60 years old. He looks.
Well,
I,
look insane.
I think he's
Either way.
probably on enough growth hormone to kill all of us collectively, but that's okay.
Yeah, he might have a little bit of advantage. So I'm gonna just say, yeah, he can lift more than me.
All right. At least, hey, the honesty is what we're looking for here. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, Brick, how
So
long
what's
you been?
going on?
How long you been training? How long you been doing this fitness thing? What's going on?
Well, I'm at the gym right now. I've been doing this probably my whole life. I love working out. What about you guys?
I was like an eighth grader.
Yeah.
Hey, great. You know,
Eighth grade.
I was just talking to somebody earlier today about the fact that kids in school, they have summer, right? They get a couple months off, and for kids, they have the ability to completely change in that 2 months if they stick to the gym. Like as soon as they get out of school and they go to the gym for those 2 months, they'll come back to school. All the girls will be like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
look at this guy!
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
he's jacked."
I don't know if I ever told you this, Ron, but in eighth grade, when we had to do the fitness test, my gym teacher wrote down 3/4 for pull-ups. And I'm like, can you just put 0? We don't need to picture me struggling and not get up over the bar. And that's what started me getting to work out. And I forget, I think my freshman year, it was, like maybe 15 pull-ups, something like that.
Holy
What?
shit!
Freshman
So
year.
you went from not even a full one to 15.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a year later.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Growth spurt.
Yeah, so which I think we should bring back bullying and shaming from teachers. It can it can create great results.
I agree. What do you think, Brick?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really like that stuff. Not good. Not good.
You don't support. You don't.
Just
So
I
what? How do you motivate people to work out?
well, I spend a lot of time on social media, but not in the ways that they do, where they're looking at cat videos or whatever they're doing to procrastinate going to the gym. I'm there to break that feed up. I'm there to toss a little. "Whoa. You got to stop watching those videos." And maybe you see Brick and you think, "Oh man, I got to go to the gym. Otherwise, I'm going to see Brick again." You know. So I'm there to help get them off the internet and get into the gym.
What's your biggest way to try to motivate them besides just being jacked yourself, jacked and ginger?
Usually, I'll come up with like some acting lessons I can do. So like just today, as an example, I posted a video of me talking on my phone at the gym as if I was hogging a machine. I wasn't hogging the machine. I was just acting. But I usually make stuff like that to help motivate them, get them talking, you know. The big thing is, for me, is, yeah, you guys are great. You guys are always talking fitness and always worried, that's a big priority for you. But there's other people that are a little bashful to talk about it. I want to help them. I want to get them talking about fitness and be like, wait, did you guys see that Brick Headstrong guy talking about stuff? And that's how it starts, hopefully. We get them started on that fitness journey when they were kind of afraid to talk about it because, a lot of people in the industry take this stuff real seriously. And that's intimidating sometimes. So I'm here to try to get other people talking about it and get them in the gym.
Before you became the Brick that you are, what was life like? What was the reason that you got into trying to take care of yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. One thing was I was a stick. I was so small. There's videos of me on Instagram when I first got started. I was like a popsicle stick. I was real small. And I was really tired of not being able to take care of myself. I wasn't able to do the basic things, you know, like shoveling snow. Every time I shovel snow, my back was going out. But now I know how to pick up snow with a shovel with proper form, just like you need to know proper form at the gym. So now that's helped me out with stuff like that. You know, just functional training, functional stuff. Just live it, you know, just being a human like you.
I like it.
Being a brick.
Being a brick. Yeah, absolutely. That's me.
For the people that are intimidated by the gym, right? Because they see guys your size in there that are all jacked up. They see guys like me who are jacked and tattooed, and they get scared of that. They're like, well, I don't belong in there. That's not my area. I should just go into the cardio equipment area, and I should just spend my entire time there. Especially that happens a lot of times with women. What kind of advice do you have for those people?
Man, you know, that's another great question. Well, really, it's just kind of get that mindset and put it away. You know, you got to change that mindset because really, you know, between you and me and Jim, all we really care about is our goals. You know, I'm focused on what I'm doing at the gym, and hey, I'm always there if you need a spot. I don't care. I'll help you out. You know, but people get in their heads too much. They think, oh man, I can't go in there and bench 95 pounds. You know, look ridiculous. Yeah? Well, guess what? If at 95 pounds you have great form, you're doing more for your body than somebody that's pushing through one rep at 300 pounds, you know? So just got to get that mentality in the right place.
Rick, I heard you love the movie Eat, Love, Pray. So I'm sure you are familiar with this scene where, I don't know what the characters' names are, but the guy's kind of yelling at Julia Roberts and says, you need to pick your thoughts like you pick out your clothes, which is kind of what you just said. You just got to get your head straight and just make that decision and do it. And it's tough.
It's hard. Yeah. But that's why I'm here. I'm hoping, you know, looking at me sometimes, I know I'm jacked, but people think sometimes they compare me to Santa Claus. You know, they're like, oh, I can't fall a brick. You know, Santa Claus ain't real. Well, guess what? I ain't going away, no matter what they think. So I just want to help out and keep people realizing fitness can be fun.
What does consistency look like, and what does consistency mean to you? If you were giving somebody advice on, because all the coaches in the world are talking about, you got to be consistent, you got to be consistent, you got to be consistent. How would you describe that to somebody that's just first starting out to make sure that you manage their expectations?
Yeah, I think that there's a big mistake that consistency means I should go to the gym every day. And hey, I do that. But being realistic, consistency to me is making sure you spend at least a half hour to an hour every day doing something for yourself. You know, whether that be getting some steps in. I love doing that. Steps are reps too. You know, you got to keep that in mind because some people, they got weird jobs where they're not on their feet all day, or maybe they work in a warehouse. Then they get a couple steps in. But the reality is not every day is the same. So consistency to me is making sure you're getting some reps every day. And like I said there, you know, today I was at the gym. I did a push day. And unfortunately, I'm working through an injury. I got tennis elbow. You know what? Guess what? There's a lesson here. I used proper form, or incorrect form, rather. Sorry. Wrong form. My form was wrong. I was gripping too hard on the bench or something. And now, all of a sudden, I can't do barbell curls. And it sucks. It's one of my favorite workouts. These arms are going to start getting smaller. But
that's embarrassing.
I got to take care of myself, you know, so I dropped the weight. And man, I didn't really love it. But I got in there. I got the reps in. These reps today, they weren't as good as yesterday's, but at least I got them in, and we're keeping moving. And that's the point.
I like
What's your favorite activity outside of the gym? What's your favorite? I'm living life, having fun, moving. That's not inside the gym.
Yep.
He's thinking.
So I actually just started a Twitch channel, right? I didn't do anything there yet, but I have a friend who said they're going to tell me about video games. I've never played them, but that might be a new hobby for Brick. I didn't really agree with rest days, but if I'm going to take one, I'm going to need a hobby. Maybe something a little more active, though. You know, video games, I'm just sitting around, you know. I want to get on my feet. So disc golf is kind of fun.
Yeah. This
There you
stuff
go.
is good. I was gonna say you could be like the first video game Twitch player who's on a walking treadmill the whole time.
I don't know.
Ooh,
It's
that could be a
is
good idea.
you guys know Dean Guido, that
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
more.
Yeah, we know
Mm-mm.
Dean.
He probably did it already. That guy, I did a podcast with him the other day, and he was just walking on his treadmill the whole time. Seems
Yeah.
like that's his. But
Dean does
I-
not stop walking.
no, he doesn't. He taught me a lot.
I actually let's see, it's 12:13 here in California, and I've already got 11,400 steps in, and I haven't even left my apartment yet.
How's that even possible?
Yeah, right. How is that possible? What'd you do? How'd you do that?
2 45-minute phone calls in which I just paced around my property. That's it.
How big of a property is that?
Not big. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not even a.
You're getting on average 1,000 steps every 10 minutes. That's an hour and a half.
That's a
You
lot.
got 11,000. He does have tiny legs. His legs are actually a little bit smaller than yours, Brick. Shorter than yours.
Yeah.
Not a leg guy, huh? Yeah, I hate them. I hate doing legs. I do them. You know, doing squats, they're important. They're very important.
So talk about that. I think that's an important point about the idea of doing the things that you don't necessarily like to do.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's a lesson in doing squats, though. You know, because when you think about squats, people are probably like, "Oh, it's a leg workout. My legs are gonna hurt." But really, you're working your whole body. That thing, you have to engage your core to drop down and get back up. I mean, it's gonna help you with other workouts. That's why I do that stuff, because ultimately, it's gonna help me improve on my bench and my deadlifts. Everything's gonna get better because of my form improving on the squat. What do you guys think about low bar versus high bar?
Where I personally place it is kind of as mid bar.
Yeah.
You're
I'm kind of right
I
in
don't
the
go
middle.
too high. Don't go too low.
I sit right below the vertebrae of my cervical spine. So right below that little bump on the top of my neck.
And mine's like right below the upper trap.
I don't have the shoulder mobility
Kinda
that you
on
do,
the-
Brick. I can't get back here
Huh?
like that.
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
What's
Because
yours?
Brick's got some. I try to go for low. I try to do low. I do a lot of shoulder dislocators beforehand, with the that really light bar.
Yeah.
But then I sometimes though I think it's my rotator cuff. You know, I think I got a slight tear or something going on. It makes it difficult to get to the low bar position. But that's the goal for me. I'm trying to get low because I want to push as much as I can back up. You know,
Dude,
As I've gotten older,
you got a lot of injuries already. How old are you?
too old, you know. But I'm still pushing through.
Are you older than
why are you
Jimmy?
dodging the question? I'm 45. Older or younger?
Me? I'm about the same age as you. Yeah, we're about that.
Being
Yeah.
very shady, this guy right now. Very
I don't
shady.
like revealing it all. I don't
You
like letting-
know, we might need to, go start checking out his Wikipedia page. Get the facts.
Ah.
It's there.
I care if I have one. I don't think I got one yet.
Probably not. Probably not. As I've gotten older, I've gotten away from squatting and more the leg press. I got my leg press machine behind me and the SSB squat. But I think that probably started with a shoulder injury. I went to the SSB bar, and I enjoy that I can get low with using the SSB bar. So I've gotten away. I'm a leg press and
Look
SSB.
at you. You're not
anything.
explaining what the SSB bar is to people that don't understand what Jimmy is saying.
This is true.
An SSB
Let's hear
bar
it.
means a safety squat bar,
Safety
which if you
squat
see one
bar.
at the gym, it
Uh,
looks like it's a collar that wraps around your neck and it's got handles that come out in front of you. So instead of having to get your arms behind you and grab the bar, the handles of the bar protrude forward. You can grip them there a lot more comfortably. So for people that have shoulder limitations or for people that don't like the discomfort of the bar sitting on their back, the safety squat bar is a very good alternative.
It's the only
that's great.
it's the padded bar that you don't get made fun of for
Yes.
using. You put a pad on a barbell, you puss. You use an 8 SSB bar, which is 3 times as padded all around your shoulders and everything. Nice. You're congratulated for
Good
that
job.
padded bar.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a shot. I think we got one at my gym somewhere in there,
Yeah, it's nice.
somewhere around here.
Yeah, it's nice. You can stay really upright. It ends up being a high bar placement, pretty much.
Oh,
obviously.
nice.
But
I got a
but yeah, so you can
question for you,
get
Brick.
low.
Yeah.
Free weight versus machines.
Oh, wow. This is a great question. I actually just started thinking about it this week. You know, especially because of injuries, right? I feel like I've always been a huge fan of free weights. I stay away from Planet Fitness. You know, me and Planet Fitness don't get along. However, working through injuries, I kind of feel like maybe Brick needs to work on his form. And while I'm working on my form, using some stationary machines, that might help me get there right. You know, doing that way gets you doing it right. There's no way you can do it wrong, really, except if you're sitting on the machine wrong. But you know, I feel like that's my answer now. I'm thinking about doing more stationary workouts. What about you?
Same. As I've gotten older, I've enjoyed machines, cables, things like that a lot more. I know me and Aram have talked about it. Aram's a big fan of Planet Fitness.
I'm about 70.
Wow.
I'm about 70-30 at this point. 70% machines, 30% free weights. I used to be
Interesting.
probably 80% free weights, 20% machines. But I think when the goals change, the tools have to change, right?
And as our bodies change,
Right.
You know, because if you're Jimmy's age, that means you've probably started lifting when you were younger. When you were younger, you probably wanted to be a little bit more of an ego lifter, lift as much as you can.
Oh, yeah.
So how has that changed for you? How have you been able to move the ego off to the side and not worry so much about the weight on the bar?
You know, that goes back to mindset. You know, a lot of people going to the gym, they just start clanging and banging, throwing some plates on the bar. But for me, I take it easy. You know, I look around and I see other people watching me and they're like, oh, that guy's jacked and he's only lifting that much. Oh, maybe it's okay that I only lift this much. You know, I hope it encourages other people, you know, so
I like that.
That helped me get past it.
I like that.
Setting an example.
Yeah, I like that.
I would rather see somebody do something that's manageable that they'll actually get close to failure on with proper form, as opposed to achieve uncontrollable failure because the weight just dictates when they have to stop.
Yeah, I started actually, you know, people look at that. They're worried about people going to the gym and staring at them working out and saying like, oh, you're not lifting a lot. But really, some days I'm watching people, I'm like, wow, that's some great form. I'm not really caring about the weight. I'm just kind of like, wow, that was a really good pause. They came back up, went back down. They kept it really, really in control. If you get in control of your lifts, it looks better.
What would be your top reason you would tell people, let's say these average, 40-year-old people who are kind of realizing I probably should start to lift. I'm hearing this messaging. What's the one thing that you might say to them to push them over the edge of this is why it's so important?
I think that by not lifting, you kind of age quicker. You know, I feel like a lot of my friends, they look about 20, 30 years older than me. But really, it's because they're not taking care of themselves. They have the old same habits they had in their 20s, drinking every day or whatever it is. We got to kick those habits to the curb and realize the older we get, the more we're going to take care of ourselves. And I think that that's probably the message that people going up in their 40s and past their 40s need to keep in mind. Just because you're older does not mean you cannot lift. You should be lifting all the time, all the way to your death, unless you have a health condition. Then maybe seek medical attention. Don't want to do that. But
I like. You ever see the interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger? And they're like, "Why do you still lift?" And he goes, "It's what I do. I ate breakfast yesterday. You didn't ask me why I ate breakfast again today. It's just what I do. Like it's just part of life. It's not the goal of some physique or anything like that. It's just at a certain point when you're doing it, it's just something that you do, regardless of what any outcome is. The outcome you get to actually currently live every single day.
Right. Again, it's just a matter of mindset. People think they got to go to the gym and ego lift something super heavy to be there. But the reality is you just got to be there regularly, keep your heart rate up, keep moving, because otherwise you're just dying.
Yeah. And you're dying not on your own terms.
Right. You're just letting yourself just waste away.
It's definitely the anti-aging secret as far
as
I'm concerned.
Really is. Yeah.
Because I feel like we're stuck with this idea of anti-aging of just how do you look? So people are getting Botox and things like that, thinking that's anti-aging, but it's not. It's just masking aging. And then you get to that point where it just gets real weird. Like, why does your face look like that, but the rest of you looks like that? You're not actually, it's not anti-aging. Weight training, eating right, the stuff that you're talking about, that's the anti-aging secret.
So now that you've been at this for 20 years and you've been trying to help people get information that will help them make everything less intimidating. What are some of the basics of nutrition? Because we know that without nutrition, none of this gym stuff is going to make much of a difference. So how are you helping people understand at least the basics of nutrition, not to get into the weeds on stuff, but just where can they start? Where can they start?
I think the number one thing is making sure every meal you have, every meal, every day, has some form of protein. That's where I start. If my meal doesn't have protein, I'm probably not eating it. And guess what? I'll let you know a secret. Blake doesn't even eat pizza.
Really?
Wow.
Don't eat pizza.
Ever?
I think, well, I've had it before because I can tell you it's delicious. However, I just stay away from it because what's the point? Other than making me feel good, emotionally, because I love eating pizza, I'll tell you that. But that's the only benefit. What else is it?
What about having a shake with a slice of pie?
Yeah.
A little
What kind of shake?
A little protein shake. High protein, 50-grammer shake.
Oh,
with the
that's a good one.
With one slice of pizza as a little side or a little dessert. How about that? Could you?
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's okay.
That in.
Hey, listen, you can't just completely remove stuff from your life that you love, But I stop pizza a lot. But that little trick you got there, I might give it a go.
Yeah. Aram, did you see my lunch today that I made for me and my 11-year-old son?
No, what'd you make?
What was it?
Cooked up big fat wild caught salmon on the Blackstone with a sweet and smoky seasoning. Some scallops for lunch at noon. Cooked it out on the Blackstone. Big piece of salmon, bunch of scallops, asparagus, grilled it all. First time I ever cooked the salmon on the Blackstone. I always do skin side down and just cook it in like the oven or something. But I flipped it after a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, because it was a big piece. Flipped it and got that crust. Me and my son just ate this stuff with our hands right off the cutting board like little animals. He was loving it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, make the stuff. If you're not a fan of certain foods, it's like get the right seasoning. I get one seasoning, and I just put it on every meat. I'll use that same seasoning on fish, chicken, steak. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to be a chef. Get a Blackstone and a good seasoning.
Now, Jim, question for you.
Yeah.
You said your kid's 11?
11, yeah.
Is it a boy or a girl?
Boy.
So has he started lifting yet, or is he still too young?
He's not too young. He used to, when he was like 4 or 5, he'd come out to the garage with me, like lifting stuff around. Then he got disinterested in it. Now he's asking a lot about it. He wants to start lifting this summer. He's going into middle school. He's getting insecure about his body. It's one of the things that I've always had conversations with about, but never forced him. But I did tell him at a certain point in your life, I am going to force you because this is just a thing that you need to be doing to take care of yourself. But he's been initiating it, so he does want to start. So we got a couple workouts in this summer so far, and he does want to start a routine. Just get him in there a few days a week, lifting out here in the garage.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first started lifting. A lot of my friends thought that they don't want to do squats. Squats is a really hard thing to get some kids to do. They think it's for girls. You know.
That's when you remind them that research shows squats increase testosterone. I guess that was like an old thing back in the day for a very short period of time. It's not really doing much, but you can just tell kids that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It's good. Like you said at the beginning, it's a good full body movement. It's everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now I have to do it all the time.
Yeah. I like it.
Oh, I know your time is precious. I'm going to ask you kind of one last question here, and I know that
Sure.
the theme of age comes up a lot. Now we've talked about people who are older who are intimidated to start, people who are younger who don't have a good enough reason to start, or maybe they're unsure of how to do it. Do you think that it's ever too late to get started?
He's shaking his head.
Not at all. However, if you're listening to this podcast, today is the day. Let's get those steps in. Let's do those reps. Because if you're watching this or listening to this, however you've chosen, you obviously want to get some reps. You want to get some fitness advice. You want to get started. So get started. That's our problem. Mindset. Is today Monday? Great day to start. Yep. But is it Thursday? You can start then too.
Still
just
a great
do
day
it.
To start.
Today is the day.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I like the steps or reps. I think that's a good thing that people could start to say to themselves. The steps or reps, and Well, as you're saying, oh, yeah, as you were just saying that, it was reminding me of a thought I had before with people who are always starting, but then quitting, and then starting and
Right.
then quitting. And it's just you keep starting because it is actually something that you want to do. So instead
Right.
of focusing so much on the fact that you've failed or you've quit so many times in the past, you've kept starting because you actually do want to do that. So don't shut that voice down just because you've quit or failed, quote unquote, in the past. You obviously want to do it if you keep thinking about it and starting it. So
Well,
like Brick
here's
said,
the
just
here's
do it.
here's the thing with that too, is a lot of people when they first get started, they have that first week, and you know what happens that first week, right? You get sore.
Real
You're
sore.
so sore.
Oh yeah.
And then what the big problem is, people go in there and they want to show off. They want to put on big weight. When the reality is, maybe you should start small. You know, that first week, you're going to get sore no matter what you do. You know, so why don't you take care of yourself? Take it easy. Be good to yourself in that first month. Track it. This way you can look back at it and say, okay, time to up the weight. That was
Yeah.
pretty easy. I'm not sore anymore. But again, you got to remember, everyone's going to be sore that first week. You just got to deal with it.
Yeah. Maybe at the beginning you just think, hey, I'm gonna do a workout that was so light it felt useless just to get in the habit of showing up.
Right.
And
Just
getting used to
show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're using the machines, people can't see maybe how much you were lifted. And you don't have to worry about it. I didn't get a 45 on each side or whatever.
That's a good point. That's a great point. Yeah, stick to machines that first month. This way you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah. I love it. Ron, did you want me to ask him our final question that we ask all of our guests?
I mean, you
or-
have to.
We have to. All right. So, Brick,
I'm ready.
we ask
I'm
this
ready.
question to every guest so that we can compare and judge them to every previous guest we've had. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Bye.